Hello, I'm Dr. Preena Gupta. I'm an infertility and IVF expert. Today I'll be discussing about fresh versus frozen embryo transfer. I'll be dividing this video into three segments. Firstly, defining what is fresh and what is frozen embryo transfer. Secondly, what are the pros and cons of each of these methods of transfer? Thirdly, which is a subset of patient which will benefit most from the frozen transfer, or is the frozen transfer for all? So coming to the first question, that is, what is fresh, what is frozen embryo transfer? So as we know about IVF, what we do in IVF is basically stimulate your ovaries to form multiple number of eggs. We stimulate your ovaries for 10-12 days, and after that we pick up the eggs. On the day of pickup of your eggs, we take your husband's semen sample, fertilize the eggs, and the next day we see how many embryos have formed and accordingly culture the embryos. These embryos are then seen on either day 3 or day 5. So if we transfer these embryos on day 3 or day 5, that's the same cycle in which we have done the pickup. In the same cycle, if we transfer the embryos, that's a fresh embryo transfer. But supposedly, we do not transfer any embryo. We keep all the embryos and we freeze them. Then it is a freeze all or a frozen, or we're planning for a frozen embryo transfer for you later on. So we would say that in the past 5-6 years, this question has come up a lot, whether we should go for a fresh transfer or whether we should freeze all and then go for a frozen embryo transfer. The reason being, the technique of embryo freezing has evolved in the last 5-6 years quite tremendously. So we can say that previously we didn't have 100% embryo survival rates, but because of vitrification, the new freezing technique, we have almost 100% embryo survival rates. So there is no difference in the quality of the embryos if we transfer them fresh or if we transfer them after we have frozen them and transfer them a month later, 2 years later, or 3 years later. The quality of the embryos remains the same. So it has given us an option there to see whether we want to transfer them fresh or whether we transfer them frozen. So why have we planned for a frozen transfer? Why do we want to do a frozen transfer? That's the second question. As we know that when we stimulate your ovaries, we form multiple eggs. These eggs produce hormones called estrogen and progesterone. Progesterone is the hormone which gets your endometrium ready for implantation. So, supposedly your eggs start forming a lot of progesterone, but still they are not mature enough to pick up the eggs. So the endometrium will run faster, but their eggs will be slower. So what happens, there is an asynchrony between the egg stage and the endometrium stage. So that basically closes the window of implantation. Your endometrium is ready for implantation to happen, but the embryos are not ready for implantation to happen, and that basically causes an asynchrony, and that might be the reason for a failure of implantation in a fresh embryo transfer. Secondly, in a particular subset of patients like PCO patients who form multiple number of eggs, if we do a fresh transfer, there is a risk of ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome happening. So by doing a frozen embryo transfer, we can bring the risk of OHSS to almost negligible. So frozen embryo transfer, we can program our transfers. We can look at, yes, I have a day 5 embryo, so I can program my endometrium to be ready for a day 5 embryo. So this is much more natural there. The levels of the hormones are much more normal there when we are doing a frozen embryo transfer. So yes, a frozen embryo transfer has two basic benefits. It is a programmed transfer. We can have a window of implantation which is for a day 5 embryo. It is ready for a day 5 embryo. Secondly, it negligites the risk of OHSS. But are there any cons for frozen embryo transfer? Firstly, frozen embryo transfer does not increase the risk of congenital anomalies in the children. It does not increase the risk of miscarriages there. But yes, it has cons in the form of that it increases the time. Firstly, you have a fresh IVF pickup. Then for the next 1 month, you're recuperating from it, and then you go for a frozen embryo transfer. So a process which takes only 15 days might be extended to almost 2 months there. Secondly, frozen embryo transfer increases the cost of your IVF cycle because there is a freezing involved and there is a thawing in the transfer involved there. So the cost of IVF cycle is increased when you're going for a freeze-all strategy for embryos. So we have known what is fresh transfer, what is frozen embryo transfer. What are the benefits of frozen embryo transfer? That yes, we can have a particular window of implantation there. We nullifies the risk of OHSS there. So it means, do all patients require a frozen embryo transfer? The answer is Emphatically no. There is only a subset of patients which might benefit from frozen embryo transfer or a freeze-all transfer. The most importantly being the PCO patients or high responder patients who form more than 15 eggs. In these patients, we have seen better pregnancy rates if we do a frozen embryo transfer. Secondly, in patients who are going for a genetic testing like PGTA, in these patients, we do need to do a frozen embryo transfer because we need to send the embryos for genetic testing and that takes time. Thirdly, in patients who have adenomyotic uterus, we need to suppress the uterus, and so basically we need to give a gap of almost 2-3 months between the stimulation and transfer. So in these all patients also, a freeze-all strategy would be a better strategy. And fourthly, the most important subset of patients who have high progesterone level on the day of pickup, on the day of HCG trigger. In these patients also, we have seen that a frozen embryo transfer gives us the best pregnancy rates. So in these four subset of patients, doing a frozen embryo transfer is a better technique compared to doing a fresh embryo transfer. But another subset, in normal responders who have less than 10 eggs there, who do not have any other problems, who do not have any high levels of progesterone, who do not have adenomyosis, it might be that fresh embryo transfer might give you equivalent pregnancy rates as a frozen embryo transfer. So discuss with your IVF consultant and decide what is best for you. Not everything is best for all. It's basically individualization in deciding what works for you. Hopefully you have liked this video. Please share and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.